It's the agricultural extension of Palm Beach. And, well, if your organization, what we basically do is, what we do mentally. Call in, I'm there on friends from 9 to 1 usually, and we take calls on every subject about plants. So if you have a problem with it, whatever it might be, we're going to help you.
So we bring a picture and show you?
You can bring a picture, you can bring a sample of what's wrong. For instance, the leaves have some type of fungus.
Oh, okay.
You have palm trees that don't look good. You have a purple plum that has weevil on it. To get rid of an air beetle vine. It goes on and on and on.
Where is this again?
It's 531 North Military Trail.
Oh,
Right
across
off
the airport, Mounts.
Right across, yeah, it's actually right near Mounts. It's in front of Mounts, the building in front of Mounts. So when you go into the parking lot, you'll see our building first, the agricultural extension. And then right behind it is
So it's
Mounts.
Fridays then? Friday?
Monday through Friday from 9 to 4 o'clock. There's usually someone on the phone that will help you. And right off the Sunrise Highway. If you want to email us, it's Master Gardener. And I'd like to just pass this around because obviously it's a very small group there. So basically, did you want me to repeat that?
MasterGardenerPBC.org.
Yes, it's Master Gardener, MasterGardener, at PNYC.org.
PBC.org.
And the number, let me give you the number, 561 233 1759. Okay, so 1 out of every 10 plants is an orchid. There are about 250,000 to 300,000 orchids. There are millions of hybrids, which means they're mixed. So they take a cattleya and they mix it with another type of orchid, and you have different flowers. Now, let me just take out my paraphernalia here. Usually there's a table that we can show you, but this I think will manage. So,
I can move this over.
no, we're not going to. All right. Can I put this one? Okay. So I'm going to just show you a few of the orchids that I brought with me. For instance, this is a red Mendoza, 2 different kinds of orchids mixed with these flowers. Considered a spider web. Now, did you say how many you own different orchids? They are different. This orchid take a lot of sun, a lot more sun than this orchid. So, I don't know if you want to grow them indoors or you have them placed outdoors for your orchids. If you place outdoor for your orchids on a tree, they have a symbiotic relationship with the tree. It doesn't hurt the tree, and it just.
Is there one in particular that's better for indoors than outdoors?
Well, you know, this is the most difficult orchid. This one is a Phalaenopsis or moth orchid because it resembles a moth. And these are very hard. if they're usually in something like this, sphagnum moss, the roots will grow out. They're usually like this one. This one doesn't have them, but you never cut the roots off. And you can see them that the roots in here are very green. This has been watered recently, so if you feel the weight on this, it's pretty heavy. And there are just several things that you have to know. There's quite a few things you should know. But,
I thought that you have to cut the dead, when you cut the dead.
you cut off that stroke. If you're going to repot it, and this, believe it or not, is not totally dead. Okay? If it's brown, and I don't, well, you can see this. You see, they're pretty, it's, the green on it is called vellum. And the, and when these turn lighter color, actually the way to kill the orchid is this. Let me just stop this. Orchids come in a pot, usually a decorative pot. Okay, we can't get my PowerPoint up.
It says less than a minute till it's ready.
Oh, okay.
So we're
All right.
getting there.
It's all right. I can probably do that.
But you're doing a great job without it, yeah.
They come in usually decorative pots. People water them in these pots, not realizing that there's a plastic pot like this inside. They fill this pot up with water, they don't realize it, and the orchid drowns. So what happens to most orchids, people that are not aware of it, because most of the time, this plastic pot is inside. You really have to pull it out. So if I were to water this, I would take it out,
Put it under the sink.
put it under the sink, and let it run and run and run and run and let it drip out. So there's no more water coming out of it. Now this is pretty wet. This is heavy. How do I know when to water this again? When this is light, once again, you water. And you let them dry out. Okay? Not all orchids want to be dried out, but most of them do. All right? So that's one thing. The color of the leaf, the darker the leaf, the less light it's getting. The lighter the leaf, the more light it's getting. If you see the red around the surface of this leaf, it's getting too much light.
Red.
Red, yes, it becomes red around the side. When you put, does anybody get put an orchid on a tree? It's called monopody. What does that mean? It means that one leaf grows from one side and then the other leaf grows from the other side. In the center is the crown of this orchid. When this thing is put on a tree, or when I put it on a tree, and if I were to put this on a tree, oh, we're up. How wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
I would put it on this way, tie the roots up. And now,
Oh no, I hit
of
the wrong
course, you can say, well, the leaves are, the flowers are down. Well, of course, but I wouldn't do it when it's flowering. Turn it like this. The next time it flowers, it's going to
So
flower
you tie
out.
the pot around the tree.
No, you take it out
Out
of the
and you
pot.
put it around the.
And you strap it to the
Strap.
tree with like these plastic, stretchy, green, you can buy
I've seen
them.
fishing line.
Nylon stockings.
Yeah, you know,
That's
old
what
stockings,
my mom used to do.
pantyhose, these old pantyhose, because that will be
So it has to be
disintegrate
stretchy.
over time and so forth. So that's the way you
Outside.
put this one on. Only this one. This one, as you notice, is take it out the bottom. This one goes. This one goes on the tree. If you put it on the tree. Okay? So what's the most important thing to know?
Can't break
The most important thing to know about any of these orchids is how to water them. If you overwater them, they will die, and they'll just rot. That's what happens. Okay, so this is
Press the space bar.
the.
You can use the
We
keyboard.
can go this. What's that?
You can use the
Oh, I
keyboard.
could do. Okay, great. Just do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you can.
I'm not gonna. Okay, so you know what? Before I can do that, this happens to be a dancing lady, and I brought this in simply because I wanted to show you that certain orchids, not this type, not the, but the Oncidium, which this is a cutting that I have on trees, and this one was bad. I didn't do a good job with this one, taking it off the tree, didn't cut it right, didn't have enough roots on it, but it's still staying pretty green, and I have it in this pot. This is called a pseudo bulb. This bulb keeps the moisture and the water in the plant. So believe it or not, you can take, not these, but you can probably cut this off right here with the roots and have another orchid. Now what are you going to put in there? Right?
Is there dirt in there?
There's no, we don't use any kind of soil. As a master gardener, we don't use the word dirt, everything is soil. I'm sorry.
It sounds like dirty. It sounds like a
This is
dirty
how
word.
we learn.
If you want to sweep it under the rug, that becomes dirt. You don't want to use that in your orchids. But there are orchids take different kind of meaning. This is, I can pass this around like that. I need to right here, but this is orchid moss. And these are planted in moss. Every 2 years, these should be transplanted and changed. And that's a whole different process. And believe it or not, you go onto the YouTube, you'll find everything you want to know about planting orchids. You know, an orchid has to be in a pot where you can pick this up. You can pick this up, and it's not coming out of the pot. If it comes out of the pot, it's not good. And they like it secure, and they want it tight. And you don't want to put it in a very big pot. People think, oh, it'll get bigger if you put it in a bigger pot. That's a fallacy. You put anything in a bigger pot. Whatever the plant is, the next size pot is what you want to use. Because if you put it in a bigger pot and you water it, the soil stays wet much, much longer, rots the roots. So just like we don't live underwater, neither do plants. So you can use this for certain orchids. You can, for other orchids, which I'm going to show you right here, this, I'm jumping the gun, but there are epiphytes, which these are, they live on a tree, which, what does that mean? It absorbs the water right from moisture from the atmosphere, especially South America. By the way, orchids can grow from sea level to 17,000 feet high. So there's all kinds of different orchids. I'm going to show you a Pathopedalium that is a slipper orchid, gorgeous orchid. It's terrestrial. It wants to grow in soil like this.
Not dirt.
Not dirt. Exactly. It doesn't want to grow in dirt.
What is that soil?
Now,
Is that any
I
type
can
of soil?
pass this around if you'd like to look at it. Sure, I can pass it all
What
around.
type of soil is it?
So you can pick this up in any shops that sell orchids. You can pick it up at Lowe's, you can pick it up at Home Depot. I just bought this along because this is Spanish moss. I'm sure you've seen Spanish moss growing all over, right? Well, certain orchids don't want to get too much light like this one.
There you go.
And if you can cover it with the Spanish moss, if you have only an area that's really very, very warm, gets a lot of sun all the time, I cover them with Spanish moss and it doesn't burn the leaves. And this will continuously grow. You've seen this growing on trees all over, this Spanish moss. You want to take a look?
I think you can put that.
It's
All
on
right.
the oak trees.
You can put
You
that
can
like
put it
around
on
the
oak
orchid.
trees, you can put it on
I put it in top of
palm
my-
trees, wherever. Except that you have to know what the light factor is.
So this is for
Light is very
areas of
important.
sun.
This just covers the orchids, so if it's in a very hot, very sunny spot, it won't burn the leaves of it.
What about
Right.
the sandy
Now-
soil?
What's that?
What about the sandy soil?
The sandy soil, they would grow, they won't grow in a sandy soil, but there are orchids that grow right in the ground, terrestrial orchids. We have those right here in Florida. They flower. You can put it into your garden if that's what you want, but it has to be the right type of orchid. It has to be a terrestrial orchid. So this is something that we can it's more or less technical about the parts of an orchid, how they differ from other trees, and I don't think that's what we need to go into. Okay. So basically, all the orchids have the same format, really. They have 3 petals and 3 sepals. What does that mean? You know what petals are. Sepals are those little things that hold, you ever look at a rose and those little green things around?
Yeah.
That's what sepals are. But they have two petals, actually 3 petals, but one of them is called a lip or labia. And I'm going to show you pictures of it. Okay. If you have orchids on a tree outside, most of the time you don't have any problem with them. The only thing you might get is fungus. And there are things to spray like copper sulfate on it. And there are other things if you need to, if it becomes black and you see there's a fungus. In the house, though, you can get mealybug and thrips and scale, spider mites. Depends on where they are and depends on the house. You may not get anything. I've never had a bug on any of the orchids, and I have so many orchids outside on all of my trees. Never had a bug on them. And I've had some fungus on some of them. All right? If you have this problem, usually alcohol with a Q-tip. The thing with, you ever see that white little fuzzy stuff on plants? Well, that's mealybug, and they're persistent. So you got to stay on top of them all the time in order to get rid of them. But that's not really that important. All right, some basic information. As I said, there's thousands of kinds of orchids. They basically 80% of them grow in warm climates like South America and Asian countries. There are orchids that will grow in the cold. I'm from Brooklyn. I'm a Brooklyn boy, but I lived in New Jersey most of my life. There's something called the Pine Barrens. And the Pine Barrens is where, and I'll show you which kind of orchid it is. It's fairly opposite. It's called a slipper orchid. And they have 6 different varieties that grow there. Now, if you're growing one here, they're different. They're the same kind of orchid, but they would never grow here. They'd only grow in the marshes in that particular location. I'm going to show you the slipper orchid here. They're beautiful. I love them. They say it's so easy to grow. I've never had one in flower. So that's that. All right. Orchids have, all right. So they're different kinds. So this one is a Miltonia. It's relatively easy. It's good. And this is the corsage orchid. This Miltonia is not a corsage orchid. That's a mistake. It's more like the flower of a petunia. And I should change that. I can't believe they're both there. Okay. The Cattleyas take more sun than these. They're very pretty. They have those big flowers on them. Let's just take a look. Okay, so as far as light goes, the way to know light, and I don't know if this is going to work here, probably not. Maybe this light will tell me. Yeah, no, I don't need that. It's just this. If there's a lot of shade, if you put your hand over something and there's a lot of shade, then you're getting strong light. Nope, won't work here. But, so, put things down there, okay?
To make it brighter.
The light is important. It doesn't matter if you can, the darker the shade, right? You know, I mean, like the shadow, right? You have a dark shadow, a lot of light. Less, getting less light, okay? Where would I grow these plants, basically? This one I could put outside in a sunny spot. This one, if it was outside and that was the plant, I'd put it right underneath that plant and have the leaves covered,
Mm-hmm.
even in the sun. So that would make the difference. All right. So there is a light test, and the light is it's candle. It's light varies during. It's true. If you have it in the house, the best place to put it is in the east window, right? For orchids. The temperature that's cool, they're intermediate and warm. Most of the orchids don't matter here. And this is statistics, and this is straight out of the book. It's 93 degrees. They're doing fine on the trees. I mean, I'm going to show you the temperature. Well, you certainly don't have drafty porches here, and you don't have radiators, so you don't have to worry about any of those. But there is a need for a change in temperature, which happens naturally. So at night, the temperature of an orchid for it to flower should drop about 10 degrees, and that usually happens. So you need a difference in temperature most of the time for them to start to flower. But I haven't found that as a problem. All right.
So if you keep it in the house, that would be a problem, though, right?
Well, it's if you keep it in on a window like this, and you're getting sun during the day, that would be fine.
Okay, so it just has to be near the window.
Should be near the window. Should be near the air conditioner on it, but they also need circulation. They like air circulation. All right, I think we went through watering already and so forth. As I said, there's no easy solution to it. If you want to know if your orchid is too dry, take a pencil, stick it into the orchid soil, pull it out. If it's dry, the pencil tip is dry, that it'll absorb the water, so you know it's dry. You have to water it. The best way is pour the water in, you feel it heavy. A week later, not 2 days, not 3 days, a week later, you pick it up, it's light. If you don't think it's light enough, don't water it. All right? Of course, humidity is not a problem. They like it humid and they do well outdoors. As far as fertilizing goes, there is orchid fertilizer. And you want to fertilize them every 2 weeks, but very slight. You want to do a quarter of what they ask you to put on. So less is more as far as fertilizing your orchids. And you usually spray the roots, but you can also water this once every couple of weeks, and then you can fertilize it by taking the fertilizer, putting it in a can, and then pouring it right into it and let it drain out again. So if it's in a pot, that's how you fertilize it. If it's on a tree, put it into a sprayer, and you spray the roots. Okay. When should you do it? Here, we don't have cold weather, so you can continuously feed them. And I don't feed them that often. It's when I remember I feed them. Or I say, oh, you know what? Maybe I should feed them. I do write it down on my calendar, and then I don't look at it. But they flower. Of course, outdoors, you don't have a problem with movement of air. Plenty of air. In a room, and if you had it in the house, I would put a little fan somewhere and have the air circulate. That's important. Also, you prevent a lot of disease that way. Potting, if you want to go back to potting, by the way, these are monkey orchids. Online, you'll see these orchids, and they'll sell you seeds for about $7 or $8. Seeds. Orchid seeds are microscopic. Unless you are a professional, well, they're not microscopic, but they're really very, very small. And they have thousands of them when they produce their seeds, and they blow into the wind. And if they catch the right fungus on the right tree, they will grow. They're not like a bean where there's lots of energy in it. All you have to do is put a bean on a wet paper towel, and in a few days it will start to sprout. This will sprout. And this will never happen to anybody in this room, including myself. Never. So don't go for it because it's a ripoff. And there's a lot of things, of course, on the internet that are ripoffs. But
Some of the orchids I've seen are planted on or attached to a board,
yes,
non-treated wood or driftwood, or
exactly. I have two of them. I didn't bring
you
them
can
with
remove
me.
it and take it.
I have a one of them is a coconut orchid, and it flowers. It smells like coconut. I have another one. It smells like chocolate. A lot of orchids, Cattleyas especially, a lot of them have wonderful fragrances. So talking about Cattleyas, I'll pass these around and then I'll show you some other pictures. This is the one on my trees, and I have a few others in here. Let me just take it out. When you're buying an orchid, the flowers should really look fresh. If they're starting to turn yellow, they have yellow. If they're starting to yellow, you don't want them. You also want them. You want to buy an orchid. You notice that this orchid still has buds. So if you could buy when you buy an orchid, you want to have some that haven't opened yet, so they'll last longer. By the way, this orchid can flower for 3 to 4 months. So it's not like a bunch of roses that you pay $20 for.
And you fertilize it when it has flowers?
No, that's a good question. You don't fertilize anything when it has flowers. You only fertilize it after the fact. You know that pseudo bulb I told you about, this little guy right here? This is the orchid. That's the dancing lady. You have to pass that around. That's what that looks like. I love that orchid, and it flowers all the time. It's constantly flowering. So when you buy an orchid, you're looking for the buds, no brown. You want to, if you can, take it out of that decorative pot. If they have it in a decorative pot, look at them. Make sure that the roots look nice and green like this one. You saw that one, right? If they're brown, like you said, they have to be cut off. The buds should be green, and it should be like a Kelly green leaf on it. All right, so I just go back. These are all on my trees. I'm going to show you one other that I find sort of fascinating, and I think you're going to enjoy this one because they are amazing flowers. All right, well, you can probably see it this way as well. This is another orchid that we'll never see here or grow, but it looks like a bird. Let me just go back a bit. I know I'm jumping around. Here's one that takes a lot of light. If you want to put something on a tree, it's called a vanda, V-A-N-D-A. You see them all over, and they're different colors, and there's 3 different types of vandas, but that's not really important. And what happens with the vanda is that it starts to grow, and then the develops little keikis or babies. That's in Hawaiian, and then they open up, and then it takes over the whole tree, and then eventually you have orchids continuously flowering, which is really very nice. Something that's happening right now on some of my orchids. Okay, I think we saw this. As I said, if you want to learn how to learn anything about orchids, just go onto YouTube. There's a million of them. You'll learn everything you want to know about orchids. Thank you. So, if you have questions, the books, Dummies for Orchids or All Seasons or all these, there's so many different books that you can use for growing orchids. And this is basically an orchid pot. This is what they look like. And you want to make sure they have lots of drainage. And actually, a lot of them have slits on the side, which is even better.
So you like those ceramic ones that they?
The ceramic pots are good for orchids. The terracotta type are good for orchids because they hold the moisture. They don't hold the moisture in. They let the moisture out. These kind of pots keep the moisture in. The plastic doesn't allow them to breathe. So, but they put them in these pots because they're so cheap. So they put them in a fancier pot. I didn't bring in my fancy pots, but they're fancier pots, and they're all in this plastic. Okay.
Joyce has a fancy pot.
Yes, Joyce seems to have a lot of fancy pots. If you want to,
You show us one?
you want to show yourself these pots, I think that's basically it. Unless you
So I have
certainly can.
like a mini one. So
Thank you.
this is just a root.
That's exactly right. That's a root. You want to leave that root exactly the way it is. And it looks good. It's a fresh root. And I can see you have it in.
It's a little mini one because the flower is like little purple and small.
Oh, it's a mini one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And those are very pretty. They're pretty.
So it can stay in that little pot. I don't have to take it out and put it in a bigger
It depends on how long it's been in this pot. If it's been in there for over 2 years, you
No,
notice.
probably like 4 or 5.
No, that's then you have plenty of
So
time.
the roots will just
This-
keep growing out. Or
They
do I have
will.
to?
No. Let the roots grow out because it doesn't absorb the water. But is that in a plastic pot? Have you ever
Yeah, I take it out. I put it on. I water it in the sink and then I drain it.
Okay, perfect.
Because that's
Right.
ceramic.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, right on
Well, it
top.
had instructions on it.
Some people
That's the
use,
only
they
reason.
say, put in 3 ice cubes in your orchid.
Oh,
and
I see. My mother.
That's
Kim's mother.
ridiculous, South America, I don't know how much ice falls in the Amazon. Not too much.
And then it melts slowly.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Take them out of the pot, water them thoroughly, let them dry, hold them.
With tap water?
Tap water, lukewarm tap water is just fine.
So that's right.
So in this region, where is the most affordable and the most reliable place to get these orchids?
You know where I buy the cheapest place I found to buy orchids?
Where?
In the festival flea market. The festival flea market, I bought this one, I think it was
The Lake Worth one?
$20. The one in, not the Lakewood one. I didn't know there was a festival flea market in Lakewood.
There's one in
It's on
Sample.
It's on Sample Road,
Oh, that's
like
right.
Pompano, right off the Parkway. Familiar with it?
The indoor one?
Indoor, big. So all in the back, there's a fellow that sells these orchids. So he sells orchids this size out of a pot, not even in a plastic pot, and $5. Now it doesn't have a flower, but some of them are really big, nice orchids. You don't know what kind of flower it's going to have. It doesn't matter. If you want to put it on the tree, $5. How could you go wrong? Next year you'll have flowers on it. I've had many of those on my trees. And his other orchids are cheap. If you go into any of these orchid places, they're even Walmart, they're $18, $20, something like that.
So it's,
You don't need-
I had an orchid that I kind of put it in a pot outside and abandoned it. And then it just bloomed.
No, just.
See,
no.
that's the best thing, that's the best part about orchids. Just don't give them any care.
And they
Those
just-
are the ones that'll do best.
No, it just looks beautiful and it had all
People
the
that
buds.
really spend a lot of time watering and feeding it.
And this is full sun outside, hot.
Let me take a look at that background orchids. Full sun.
What are their favorite trees?
That's a feeling.
I just put it in another pot outside and then I just forgot. It was outside and out there on the street.
You know, sometimes,
That's a nice one.
sometimes the orchids will adjust to the sun and they'll adapt. But these don't usually adapt well. These will, Vandas will, these won't adapt well. They will burn out. That's why I use the moss if it's in a spot where it gets too much sun. But you must get the right amount of sun. You don't get a tremendous amount of sun on that, do you? On that orchid? Is it
In the
sun all day?
afternoon.
In the afternoon
In the
sun.
afternoon. The
That's the
sun
sun.
hits the
That's
front of the house in the morning. and
right.
then-
So you don't get sun all day on it, and that's the reason why it's still young. Okay, any questions you want to show some of your
Well,
plants?
what I was going to say is that there isn't a lot of room to spread them out. I will take them back to our Spirit Flamingo Play Studio on J Street. We may not be there much longer if someone buys the building, but we're there for now. These were made by, I give teenagers free art lessons there, and in exchange they do community service. This was their community service. We looked them up. They built the ones they wanted to. They glazed them. They did everything they could to do this. And the sale of them will help pay for the building. We
But I
hope
would just
to buy it. But I can take them back
Yes.
there if
We have
the kids would love to do that for you. Even if they're not there when they do come in, I can just turn them loose on it. So you know, that's
one of the smaller ones.
guys. I have them all different sizes in here. The other thing that one of you know Donna Kerner, but she was in the looking room and she told me that if you have a garden, I should bring our garden room. So I'll say for you to see. But we have a lot of those in here too.
You could use a spray, right?
Yeah.
That's a focus. Black spots.
Thank you.
Black spots are fungus.
That white orchid has a lot of, it has 6 leaves and flowers and they all, the flowers get black spots.
Flowers get black spots.
Let me know.
That's a fungus. That's a fungus. You can't spray it. Go in and-
Let the leaves fall off and then.
No, the leaves don't fall
I'm
off.
Most,
Majority of
This on another plant.
Okay, so you
Black,
want this over a little bit?
All the way
that
over.
sticky black stuff under the plant
this guy says.
is, it comes from honeydew.
That's right.
Yeah.
The bug is sucking out the juices
So you're talking about next door.
and
I was thinking the library is best spot.
I've seen like.
It's a big cache, but they didn't even have anybody there.
that's,
The library's a walk.
if you have a bug, you can.
You know, you got
The
a
hatch is
area.
right
Bug
here.
like that. I think the whole is-
That's,
we could
we
get
should
the hatch.
try the hatches.
Yes, spray the field, spray the pot.
Even though they didn't
I
beds in it.
just watch them walk.
I think you can say no thing.
All my
Probably.
outside, I have a lot of mildew,
This-
really bugs on there. Take a hose underneath the leaves, and pick up the leaves, go right, just spray it all off. And you do that frequently, you don't have to use it.
It's the
It's not like she used Dawn soap.
Dawn soap, no, don't use Dawn.
Yeah. Well, that's
You
what
can
you
use a
do.
baby soap.
Not true.
Dawn soap is a detergent, that's no good. And you can- That's with
Not true.
baking powder,
Yeah,
water.
some people-
The best,
Mhm.
you can use
Yeah.
insecticidal soap, you can pick up. which is, goes upon the environment or you, or neem oil, which is an oil. Now, neem oil is great only when it's early in the morning and late at night, since it's an oil. The sun hits it, it's ready to use. It's like putting oil on your face. So that's what that's about.
Can I make a real quick announcement before you guys leave?
Yeah.
So we are Tropical Ridge Neighborhood Association. So sorry for, we normally don't here. We meet downstairs in the multi-purpose room, but it's under construction. So we're gonna be moving soon, probably to the hatch. So the next meeting is gonna be August 7th. And so the people who want community service hours, we have a neighborhood cleanup coming up on November 4th. Please put that on your calendars, on your Google Calendar or whatever. And it's a Saturday and Sunday, 2:30 to 4:30. We meet at 211 North H Street. It's at the fitness park. All supplies are provided: garbage bags, gloves, hand sanitizer, snacks, water. So please save this date. Tell others. August 7th through the 11th at Lake Worth Middle School. They need photocopiers desperately for the teachers. So it is indoors. It's Monday through Friday, and you can do it anytime from 8:30 a.m. to anytime to 4 o'clock. You don't have to stay the whole time. They just need a couple hours in the office. It's at 1300 Barnett Lake Worth, 1300 Barnett Drive. There's the emails that you can contact. August 8th, we're gonna host, Tropical Ridge is gonna host a teacher's lunch for the Lake Worth Middle School. So if anyone would like to bring a dish or catering, we can come pick it up, or you can bring it to the school. Popular lunch dishes are lasagna, chili, soup, salad, fruits, smoothies, and lots of coffee. So these are for the teachers that are planning the Lake Worth Middle. And you also get community service hours for this as well, August 8th. So August 7th through the 11th is photocopying and office assistant. Neighborhood cleanup is November 4th and 5th. You can also find us on Instagram. If you have Instagram, go to it's Tropical Ridge NA, Neighborhood Association. So if you want updates on what we're doing, we're going to be putting out there. So, and that's it. We're going to have a tour of the Lake Worth electric utilities soon. It's going to be sometime in September. So, and Mr. Ed Liberty, the electric utilities director, he's going to come to our next meeting. So he's going to do a presentation of how electricity works. And Lake Worth, City of Lake Worth does not have FP&L, unlike many other cities. We have our own independent utilities. So Mr. Ed Liberty, the director, is going to talk about that next month. And then we're going to get a tour of it. There's solar panels, there's a lot of exciting things. If you like electricity, or if you know anybody who likes electricity, engineering, electrical, it will be a shocking presentation. So it's electric fun. So if you go on Instagram, there will be a post about where we're going to be for that presentation with Mr. Edwards.
No.
The
The ninth is Sunday.
So, and a tour of like. So, and then we have Joyce. She owns a ceramic shop. She's awesome. If you want more community service hours, she provides them
Yeah,
for
we're a
teenagers.
nonprofit and I don't own anything. We're a co-op.
Oh, it's a co-op.
It's
I'm
a
sorry.
co-op. That's okay.
It's a co-op. It's owned by multiple people.
So
for
we're trying to
memberships.
own the building. So if any of you know any really rich people, we need some donations. Thank
But
you.
she gives teenagers, she teaches them ceramics and art, and it's pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah.
So she made these, her and her teams made these beautiful pots. So please buy one pot for your orchids. Anybody wants a business, not a business card, but a co-op card,
The Community Arts Center card.
community
Well,
arts center.
the QR code takes you to our Community Foundation Fund to buy our building. But the address is on here, so that you can always come in. And again, we can custom make anything you need, because that's what we do. And we have a gallery there. And then, yeah, and then
It's pretty amazing. You should, if you've never been in there, you should check it out.
It's from 25 to 45.
And talk to.
Are they? I will.
If you go inside the ceramic shop, you'll get to meet other artists. And they're very creative and very innovative and have other ideas, and it's very stimulating conversations.
They're
They
not the only
create
one in the downtown,
awesome
there's,
things.
you have competition.
Yeah, we have no competition anymore. The city is getting rid of all of its arts and all of its antiques and all of its, it's really sad. So that's why we need to stay there. We really need to stay there.
Is there anybody who needs community service hours? You can just sign off.
I'm private.
Okay. So, you want me to give it to them?
Thank you, thank you very
Okay.
much for having you.
Thank you so much, Ellen.
Yeah,
For hosting us. That was very nice of you. Okay. I think we're good.
Yeah, that's it.
It's in
Thank you,
there.
Chuck.
Matthew?
Appreciate your patience as we were trying to get it working.
Oh, it was great.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for joining us on YouTube. Have a good night.
Have you heard